Gundam.tk presents Mega Size Age-1 Normal. Hey again everybody, it's Robert184, 2Rs, 2Bs from Gundam.tk, which is GundamReviews.net, and that large box over there is the 1/48 scale Gundam Age-1 Normal. It's a mega size model and it's got a lot of plates. You've already seen the unbox, but now it's time to take a look at these in detail, including all the little extras that are thrown in with this, before it all gets put together into a thing that's actually going to be taller than that box. You can guess that for a kit like this, all of the plates are going to be unique. Mega size model Gundam Age-1 written on there. Who knows if we'll be getting an Age-2 or the other wares. And here, as it was mentioning on the side of the box, you can see with this number 3 that they're not just going to tell you number 3, but that this part goes in the head, this part goes in the waist section, which is going to make life very easy if you ever do put the whole thing together and can't figure out where a certain part went. The A-plate is going to kick things off on a fantastic note for me, just because these 4 colors are the ones I wanted to see. The yellow's looking bright, the red is looking good as usual, and you've got all these nice green parts which are going to add a whole bunch of realism to that. Most important though for me is that those knees are going to be made out of nice black plastic instead of lining or stickers or things like that. And you've got these black parts for the lower part of the face and the top of the head. Looking in detail at this, it's this kind of thing that is going to make this scale worth building. You're going to have black above the eyes, below the face guard, you're actually going to have black showing through. I'm assuming there's going to be perforations on the white piece, and even the ears are going to have these nice black parts showing through with lining opportunities. And you'll notice that this part here is for the glowing green part in the top of the forehead. It's going to have this green part, which is, I'm sure, going to work well, but even better when it's not covered up by a seal or just letting the color blast through, because this black part is going to cover up everything. These parts are very plain but very smooth, as they should be, and the face is going to have details even down to the fact that you can line below the eyes, which is just a bunch of win, and you've got raised perforations here on this green part, so I look forward to seeing how this is going to work in practice. The high grade, we've already gotten used to seeing how these the vents can actually have this separation, which is going to show a nice shadow bit below, no need for lining. In the 1/48 size, it's even better. But something that made me even happier was the fact that this neck piece has this giant hole in it. And unlike Sun Gundams, especially with the high grade, where you do have just too much yellow in there, even though on the master grade that's going to be made up with different colors, in the 1/48 that looks like it's going to be color on color, so the yellow is going to be dominant, but not overly so. The B-plate is going to make up some of the other parts, including the all-important ones for the head and the waist unit, and it looks like a few others thrown in along with that chest piece. Fantastic details. On the face guard, you're going to have these clear perforations, as I was hoping, which means the black behind it is just going to show through perfectly. It looks like edging as opposed to lining. There's no channel there if you want to put in a little bit of color to add to the face. Here's the top of the head, and this front of the head is actually looking great because it's got these hollow perforations here, which is going to allow those black parts that you just saw on the A-plate to shine through. And there's lots of other details, good channel opportunities for lining. Everything's looking sharp. The waist, it looks like it's just going to have these tick marks all over it. You've got 1, 2, 3. They're a little bit wide, so you're going to have to do edging around those before filling them in. Here it looks like you're going to have the middle part of the head. The V-fins are looking good, no childproofing on there for something this large. I suppose a kid isn't going to poke his eye out. Hopefully this is all going to show off the green very, very nicely. This chest part has some lining opportunities around it, you can see, and they run up and down. It's looking good, and I look forward to seeing how that attaches on. The C-plate is going to give you the waist and a lot of the parts from the chest, and there's tons of detail again. As you can see up close with parts of the waist, it looks like, and the chest even having those things, so where the yellow shows through, there's even going to be vents that can be made out underneath. The light is going to be coming out of here, I'm assuming, and for the boosters, you've got all these little details. These are on display with the high grade. Great to see them in this much detail in the 1/48. The manipulators are looking good. It looks like you can put some little tick marks in there. The fingers are nicely differentiated, and it's cool to see that you've got this nice gray part here to go along with that white part when you put the chest on. These parts are going to add a lot of color to the head. The thrusters, if you wanted to go in there and paint those up like a pro, put some metallic or some red, I'm sure they'd look great. The other parts of the manipulators, everything is looking very, very good. When you look at the D-plate, it's easy to forget how little blue there is on this Gundam, but pretty much you're just going to have the spoilers and the parts for the chest to go with great little details like the fact that on the chest, in addition to all these lining ticks that can go around here, it actually says Gundam Age-1 or the Age system in very small print, something that's hard to make out, but it's still great on a model like this. Here for the spoilers, you've also got lining chances there. The back, the thrusters are all going to fit in quite nicely, I'm sure. 2 identical E-plates, which are going to make up the bulk of the white in the kit. But almost the first disappointment that I've seen so far is that it's not going to show off. There is no gray inner frame, it looks like, to show off anyway. But these parts, they're going to look really good because they have all of these parts built into the mold. Looks like you can do some edging as well. But how good would this be if these were hollow, showing off the gray underneath? Same thing here with these other parts. It looks like it is going to take some effort to make this reach its full potential. Although these beam saber handles are actually, or the holders are looking pretty sharp. You could even put some cutlery in there. The F1 and F2 plates are actually combined here, and you get 2 of each, and yes, I was just testing this out, you can actually take this F2 plate and this F2 plate, line them up, and actually plug everything in, and I suppose separating those would just make it your build that much faster. You still have to wonder if that's a necessary gimmick or if it's not, but anyway, it's still cool that they're trying very old things again. With the F2 parts separated, you can also do that with the middle parts anyway of the F1 plate. Huge parts here on the G plate. You've got the legs with, again, those perforations all over the place. 2 identical H plates to make up the feet, and it would have been nice if they had a little bit of gray on the inner frame, and they could have had some perforations here or holes cut out so that that would show through, but at least they give you nice deep channels if you want to go line that instead. Big bulky gray plate, and you're going to have the parts for the Dodds rifle, which actually already has this built into it. That's a huge hole there. I'm assuming that the manipulator is going to fit inside. Speaking of which, you're going to have this gray part actually built into the fingers. You're just going to be putting a white cover on top of it, it looks like. And then you're going to have all the other parts, including this big part there, for the shield connector. 2 identical J plates, and here are the double separators. 2 of them gunpla, made in Japan, emblazoned into them, along with a few joints. Which brings us to the last of the plates, and probably the biggest laugh I've had since putting together the Master Grade G Exus, which actually had a tiny little thing attached onto its massive base. Anyway, this big blue part is going to make up the shield. As you can see, it's going to show a lot of white underneath. Good lining opportunities, though these ones come across as being a little bit shallow. As it pops onto this white part, which is huge, it's got a whole bunch of stuff written into it, including mega size model. It's got information about the plates itself. It's a plate in and of itself. Unfortunate that it doesn't have any gray behind it, I wonder, which is going to mean that you're going to have a big white shield, which is going to look pretty terrible compared to the way the pros would do it, which is to put a nice coat of gray in there first off, right off the bat. The M plate is going to have 3 clear parts. You're going to have 1, 2, 3. These 2 parts go in the head. It looks interesting to see the way this is going to go in for the eyes, it looks like, and for the top of the green part. And this part for the chest, I wonder if that's just going to serve to send the LED light where it needs to go. SB00 for the beam sabers here, and I wonder if this isn't the same as the 160th Exia. I'd have to go check out my old review of that. 2 plates here for the polycaps, PC500 if you want to call something this soft a plate, and all of them pretty much have clicking devices inside, which is hopefully going to add a lot of stability when you're moving all the parts around. There are a lot of plates, not to mention the extras, in this massive kit, so stay tuned for the next part, where I'll show you the manuals and all the other little extras that you're going to get, and then it'll be time to start putting this guy together. Anyway, everybody, Robert184 gundam.tk. It's always fun to lay out this much plates and see what that plastic is going to turn into, so stay tuned for the next part and lots more. See ya.